This is Super Yacht News in association with Go Earth Boating, navigating boat buyers to better deals. Hi, welcome back to the channel. So a criminal indictment has been filed in the criminal court in Turkey against the captain, crew and ship owners' representatives of a cargo ship RL7. The 92-metre or 300-foot cargo vessel collided with a 12-metre yacht or 39-foot named Grey Wolf in the Marmara Sea on the 5th of August this year. The man at the wheel of that yacht, Halit Yokay, a well-known yacht designer in Turkey, was killed in the collision. Now, comprehensive investigation led by the Office of the Public Prosecutor confirmed that Yokay died following the collision, and evidence shows that the ship's captain and crew did not report the incident to any public authority, made no attempt to rescue Mr. Yokay, and instead notified only the ship owner. It's further been established that attempts were made to conceal the incident and destroy evidence. As you can see in this photograph here, which was at a port later on when the vessel docked, you can see the captain inspecting the hull of the vessel for damage. At the time of the collision, the crew were found to have been having a barbecue at the rear of the ship, and it's also believed that there was nobody actually on the bridge at the time. Now, despite these circumstances, an incomplete and technically deficient expert assessment incorrectly attributed primary responsibility for the accident to the deceased. Following the accident, the crew were pressured to remain silent. The ship owner appointed its own lawyer to represent the crew who had become suspects. And crew members were discouraged from providing statements obstructing the investigation, and no report was made to the Coast Guard, Vessel Traffic Services, police, or any other competent authority. It's actually understood that one of the crew told his wife about the incident, and she reported it to the police. And then later on, when she realized that they were trying to cover it up, she tried to retract her statement from the police. The indictment says that as a result of the concealment, the Republic of Turkey was forced to conduct an intensive month-long search operation involving significant resources and international support. The failure of the responsible parties to report the collision caused substantial financial loss to the public. Now, the investigation has resulted in the following charges. The captain has been charged with causing death by negligence. The crew members and the ship owner's representative have been charged with failure to fulfill the duty of assistance and notification. The indictment was submitted in the criminal court, like I said, and it's currently pending acceptance in the court. But some concerns have been raised because the captain's actually been released. He was actually being held in custody, despite expectations that custody and protective measures would apply equally to the captain, crew, and ship owners' representatives. I believe the captain is Turkish, though, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. So anyway, we'll bring you more on that when we have it, but it's quite outrageous that they allegedly crashed into this yacht and they knew about it. The crew apparently ran to the side of the vessel, obviously hearing and feeling the collision, and then just didn't do anything, assuming that what they said at the time is they assumed that the officer of the watch was going to report it. Anyway, we'll move on to our next story. We've got some photos here of the 120-metre full custom Amels superyacht project Tanzanite, formerly Project Signature, at the Damen yachting facility in Vlissingen in the Netherlands. These photos were sent in by one of our subscribers. This is the largest yacht in the fleet. This will be the largest vessel they've ever built. Construction started in 2020 and was seen for the first time in 2023. I think that's when it was transported from Romania, when it was launched in Romania on the quiet, and then towed up to Vlissingen because it's it was originally purchased by a Russian buyer. It was also originally managed by Imperial Yachts. Like I said, it's the largest yacht built in the Netherlands, we believe. As far as gross tonnage goes, 6,080 gross tons, and it will be able to carry 22 guests with a crew of about 44. It's actually broadcasting, if you're interested, on AAS right now as Damen Yachting 477, and the IMO number 9922366. Now, viewers that have been watching the channel for at least a year, or since the last year's Monaco Yacht Show, will know that we actually got kicked out of the Damen/Amels booth when we were having a coffee, and the manager came up to us. The marketing manager of all people, you know, making good decisions for the marketing team of Amels and Damon, came up and threw out an influencer from the place for having a free coffee. Apparently no reason. We couldn't figure out why at the time. She gave us some feeble excuse, but we're gonna go into it more next week, because in actual fact, at this year's Monaco Yacht Show, we haven't mentioned it yet. The patrons know about it. That we actually got kicked off a yacht that we were about to do a tour on by the same people. So yeah, we haven't mentioned it until now, but we're going to do a video next week, so stay tuned for that. Now we were racking our brains why they escalated this feud. You know, why they're doing this. We couldn't quite figure it out, because we haven't really done anything to them at all, apart from some reporting that we did in 2022 about this very yacht, right? Project Signature, it was called at the time. It was managed by Imperial Yachts. They got sanctioned by the US government. They liquidated that company, and then the former employees broke up into small, started their own little companies, and then just carried on business as usual with Damon and Amels, you know, happy to go along with it. And we just think that it might be something to do with that investigation that was launched in the Netherlands in April this year. You see, Damon Shipyards is under investigation for corruption, forgery, money laundering, as well as breaking sanctions tied to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. That's according to the Public Prosecutor's Office in the Netherlands. They filed charges in April of this year, and we think it might be connected. We'll explain why in a video that we do next week, so stay tuned for that. So we'll move on. Lürssen Americas has established a new office in Fort Lauderdale at Pier 66. Like I said, the German shipbuilders has relocated its US headquarters to the Pier 66. They announced it at FLIBS, the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, and this is at the newly developed Pier 66 Marina. Now, I stayed at this marina in 2018. A couple of us did, and it looks. I saw the photographs. It looks completely different. I've got some footage, some drone footage. It wasn't very good. It was a Mavic 1 drone that I was flying at the time. I've got some drone footage. It shows you the resort back then, and I'll show you the photograph of how it looks now. This photograph almost looks like it's not real. It looks like like it's AI or something, but it's actually a real photograph of how it looks now. And it's quite remarkable what the amount of work that's gone into it. Now, this whole site is owned by the billionaire Joe Lewis, through his companies, of course. He bought it in 2018, and at the time the story was that he bought it because he wanted a berth for his yacht when he was in Florida, which I can completely believe, but clearly he had more plans than that, and he had obviously had this redevelopment idea in mind. It looks absolutely amazing. I'd love to go and stay there sometime in the future. But yeah, it was really run down when we stayed there, so it's quite remarkable that they've done such a, well, it's not remarkable that they've done such a good job, but I mean, it's quite remarkable the difference between then and now. So interesting that Lürssen have opened an office in the US. I think they've had one there for a few years actually, but they've moved it to this redeveloped Pier 66. I mean, obviously they've got a lot of customers in the US. I mean, obviously Kismet is a recent delivery. I think that just won Boat of the Year, Yacht of the Year for 2025, the Boat International Awards. The 122 meter Kismet, which we're going to actually talk about in a minute in the yacht spot, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, they've got a lot of customers there, so it makes sense that they've got a headquarters in the US. All right, as I said, it's Friday, so that means we've got a Friday yacht spot. First one on the list here, we've got Motor Yacht Constance. This is taken in Washington, D.C. No name supplied with these photographs. If this is your photos and you want to get a credit, please be sure to let us know. If you are sending stuff in, please be very clear about what name to be credited by. And if you don't want to be credited, please say, I'd like to remain anonymous. Anyway, back to this yacht. It's a 60 meter or 196 foot yacht built by CRN in Italy in 2006. Roughly value is around $45 to $50 million, and it's owned by an American, Alan Dabier. So next on the list, we've got Sailing Yacht Koru and Motor Yacht Abiona. This is in Antigua. This is an anonymous sender. This is obviously a 127 meter yacht, 416 foot sailing yacht, built by Ocean Co. and Abiona, the support vessel, built by Darman. Now, this is like I said, this is in Antigua, and the person who sent this in said that they had all of the gear out there. This is what one of the things that the support vessel does. It's got all the toys, the jet skis, and the water thing, the thing that they climb on and all that. And he said that the inflatable toy broke away and it washed up on the beach the same day. And you can see the photographs here of it washing up on the beach. This was in 2023, apparently. So he says he's included a picture of the inflatables tied off on his yacht to show where it's supposed to be. So that's quite funny, isn't it? Okay, we'll move on. We've got Motor Yacht Kismet, like I just mentioned, 122 metre or 400 foot yacht owned by Shahid Khan, not Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, although he was on board recently. I said in a previous video that Sadiq Khan was the owner, which raised a few eyebrows to some of our watchers. This is in Jacksonville in Florida, which is obviously where Khan is located. He owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that's it. Nice photographs there. Thanks for sending it in, Stephen Walker. Next, we've got Motor Yacht Embrace. This is in Turkey, and it was sent in by Joshua Schwartz. This was formerly called Elandas, and it's a 75 meter, 244 foot yacht built by Abiking and Rasmussen in 2018. This was at the Monaco Yacht Show a few years ago, and it was for sale. And the previous owner was a member of the a yacht club in the UK, which allows them to fly the White Ensign of the Royal Navy, which it had on at the time. But it's now owned by Michael Jordan, who certainly does not have permission to fly that flag. But Michael Jordan, you might have heard of him. He played a bit of basketball back in the day. So that's his yacht. And like I said, this video footage was taken in Turkey. And okay, and last on the list, we've got Motor Yacht Scat. This was in Mallorca, sent in by Anne, Lil, and Dean. Now, we've featured this yacht many, many times on the channel. It was originally owned by Charles Simonyi. He is a Hungarian-American, but I think he had a girlfriend who was Danish or something, and that's where the name comes from, which it means deer or something in that language. And it's now owned by the person who ordered Rev Ocean, whose name I will not pronounce, and but he's Norwegian, but he has not changed the name of that yacht, and he's using that in between. It's a fill-in. It's a filler yacht until his big yacht is ready. But yeah, there you go. So thanks very much to everybody who submitted stuff for YachtSpot for this Friday's YachtSpot. Now, if you want to see more from us, please be sure to check us out on patreon.com/eSysman. We've got lots of behind-the-scenes stuff on there, lots of talks. We do videos most days. We're talking about things that are going on in the news and other stuff as well. We tend to go on about these stories a lot earlier on that channel. So check us out, patreon.com/eSysman. And if you've got any information for us, please be sure to send it to the email address in the ticket. If you've got photos or video, please send it using the WeTransfer link, which is in the description of this video. It's a lot easier for us to sort if it all gets sent to the same place rather than sending it to us in the email. Also, they get compressed when you send them there, especially videos, and they come through, we can't use them. So please be sure to use that link. It's free and you don't need an account. All right, guys, thanks very much for watching. It is Friday, so that means we are finished for the weekend. Be sure to, like I said, check us out on Patreon, and we'll catch up with you next week. All right, guys, have a great one. Bye-bye.